Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab, and today's video, which is going to be a little chit chat, get ready with me trying a whole bunch of new makeup products that I've been buying, I would say since about February. Some of them I'm just getting around to try them, some of them are my second or third impressions, so I'm going to give you some information about the products as we go along and a little rundown at the end as well. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, I'm Jody. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Hope you're going to enjoy it, and if so, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up while you're watching and hit the subscribe button if you would like to be friends. Now, without any further delay, let's get to creating this look. I'm going to start with some sunscreen. My friend Bettina sent me a package of goodies that she picked out for me from Australia, and this is one of the items that she selected. It came in a little mini kit with another sunscreen. This one is the ultraviolet one, Supreme Screen Hydrating Sunscreen. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that. I probably should have done this before putting on my eyebrows because this is quite emollient and it can dissolve them right off. I love how easily it blends into the skin and that it doesn't have a white cast either. It's really good. I am on puppy mommy mode. Look! This is Phoebe not licking my sunscreen. This is Phoebe. She's a new addition to the family. I know you all saw her picture, but I thought you would appreciate seeing her live, so to speak. Where's your little baby? Where's your little baby? Yeah. It's hot with all these lights. I have her little playpen kind of pulled up against the doors of my beauty room so that I can keep an eye on her, but give her a little bit of freedom as well. And so I'm going to be super distracted. It's the first time I tried to film since we got her, and you're going to see how she does. This is the Rare Beauty Eye Primer. As you all know, I posted about it on Instagram, and I also shared a little bit of the details here with you as well. I recently lost my 3 senior pets, and it just has not been the same in the house. You know, I have never been without a pet. I mean, it's been like 25 years since I've been in a home without a pet, and it's just unnatural to me. And I actually, when I went to the vet to pick up my cat's remains because we had them cremated, the vet actually suggested, you know, that we get a new pet, bring a new pet into the house. I'm gonna set just the top of the eyeshadow primer with the Hourglass powder. This is just a little mini that I have. Yeah, so even on my Instagram post, one of you, Miriam actually, she said, you know, don't wait too long to open your home to another pet. And I actually, the way I was feeling, I didn't want to have any more pets ever. Like the last few years were very, very hard taking care of senior pets that were sick. And they kind of, you know, Ricky was always sick. Not always, but he had been sick for a number of years. But the cats, it kind of came on really, really suddenly, and I was just of the mind that I wasn't going to have any more pets, but he kind of planted the seeds, and here we are. I want to use the new Hindash palette. This recently launched, and I bought it from his website when it launched, and obviously I haven't had the opportunity to use it yet, so I thought today was the perfect day, and I think I'm going to do an all matte look with it. Here's what the palette looks like. Instead of being, I think the other one is all black, this one is pink, and here are the shades. So I think I'll just do something like rosy nude, something very simple. So the whole idea here is obviously that you have gradients, and I think I'm going to go into the shade Match Made, which is going to be a pretty good crease shade for me. And just going to apply that in the crease as a very light transition. Initially, I was going to adopt an adult dog because I haven't had a baby animal in a really long time. My pets were all, like I said, seniors, and I was gonna go to a shelter. They had a little dog that caught my eye. They called him Parker, but the day I was going to go meet him, he was adopted. And then I was looking for, you know, a Shih Tzu dog. Ricky was a Shih Tzu, and I started looking around, and they really changed the way that you buy pets in my state. Like now, it's all through breeders if you want to have like a specific breed, and they've shut down all the pet stores, which I mean, in a way it's good because those promote things like puppy mills and things like that, which when I first was shopping for pets or looking for a pet I didn't know years ago. And there were a number of pets that I got from pet shops. Luckily, everything turned out okay. They were healthy and everything was fine, but that no longer exists in my state. And if you didn't know, I live in Illinois. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to go into the shade Heartthrob, and I'm going to focus my brush a little bit more on the outside for the deeper shade. She's in her little playpen now and she's scratching the sides. It's open, she can get out, but she just likes to tear everything up, you know, puppyhood. I have had my hands completely full. She is a handful, a joy, but a handful. I like the way that these shades are blending. They're very firmly pressed in the pan, but they're buildable, right? So you start with a light layer and then you can intensify the color, which usually results in a better look than if kind of going heavy-handed with a lot of pigment right away, then you have trouble blending it out. So I actually like it. I love the way all matte look, but because my eyelids are super oily, usually, you know, they don't stay, they kind of crease, or my eyes water and then it doesn't have the same effect, but I love the way it looks. I was actually just watching a video by Tina, the Fancy Face, and she does all matte looks very frequently. I think she actually reviewed this collection, and if I remember correctly, she liked the original Hindash palette a little bit better. I really like the way that looks. Blended really nicely, softly. And I want to use a deeper shade on the inner corner. One thing Tina was saying, and it's true, there's not a lot of depth here. So your options for deeper tones are kind of limited. I'm going to try to use that shade Forever Inked, and I'm more on the deeper side. And I'm just going to apply this on the outer corner just to give a little bit of intensity. Now these two colors don't necessarily blend together really well. It might get like a little bit of purple look, but we will see. I didn't set the eyeshadow base at the lid. I also bought the highlighter that I think is supposed to be a liquid shadow as well, but I think I'll just wear it as a highlighter today. I don't know how it's gonna layer on the eyeshadows, and I want to give the eyeshadow palette a fair shot. I'm still going in with that same shade, but now I'm using a blending brush rather than a packing brush so that I can diffuse the outer corner. Now we're going back into the Heartthrob shade, and I'm just going to pack it in the outer part of my eye. Now I'm going to use the creamy shade on the top, Alter Ego, and I'm going to pack this on the lid. Again, these shades are very firmly pressed. I'm liking the way Bone Color shade looks on the lid. I'm kind of regretting the blue just a little bit because, like, I knew it wasn't going to blend super well with the pink shade, but there's really not too many options for deeper shades. But I do think it's going to come together. Another thing about doing all matte looks is whenever I apply my setting spray, then dampens the shadow and ruins the effect. I should probably have done my face first, but I don't like to do that. Sometimes I mess up my eyes and have to start all over again, and it's more work if my face is already done. I'm packing some more of that Heartthrob shade kind of over the blue to soften it. I'll just apply the blue on the lower lash line and maybe use a blue eyeliner to get it all to tie together. Bettina also sent me a mascara, which is so good. It's one of those tubing mascaras. And you know, I'll admit it's better at lengthening and separating than it is volumizing. But I really like lengthening mascaras. This is the mascara, and I really like how much it separates. The brush is kind of hourglass in shape. It's plastic bristles, which I love. I think this brand does ship to the US. I haven't worn makeup in so long, so my lashes are in pretty good shape. See, I don't know if you can tell the difference. I forgot to zoom in while I was doing my eyes. I'm going to be out of practice and rough for a while. I did notice that there is a max of the layers that you can apply though. If I apply too much, then my lashes start clumping together and it gets that spidery lash look, and I don't really like that. I prefer to have them fanned out and really long. Let's go ahead and apply some primer. Now this is the Rhode Isle Glass Primer. This is one of the last items that I got. I think it was in my Ipsy Glam Bag X before I canceled. Again, I'm going in kind of with, I don't want to call it matte, but it's a heavier foundation, and so I want to prep my skin for that kind of foundation. This primer has kind of smells like icy hot. Icy hot or Bengay. It has like a goldish sheen, but once you apply it to the skin, I don't really see any extra hydration or luminosity. I guess if left alone, maybe, but it still feels kind of thick. I'm going into the KVD Good Apple foundation. This, of course, had its moment on TikTok, and I think it's okay, but I mean, people with more oily skin were saying that it kind of breaks apart. Like after a while, it's too luminous. I don't notice it being luminous like at all. I'm applying just a small amount because this is pretty full coverage and I don't love full coverage foundations. It's one that I swatched in store. I did order it online, but I swatched it in store and I thought that it was a good color match, but it's actually a little bit lighter. Either way, I prefer lighter rather than darker because I can always touch it up with a little bit of bronzer. See, I feel like on screen, I look super pale. See, to me, this is not that dewy. I think it was the coverage that was impressing people, but I was looking for that dewiness. I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. brush just to kind of get more coverage in certain areas. You're probably noticing as well that I left my hair. This is my hair's natural texture. I've told you guys how I have like curly hair underneath, straighter hair on the ends. It's pretty crazy, but with the puppy, I don't really have time to be flat ironing my hair. And plus, I'm on spring break anyway from work, and I just don't see the point in damaging my hair when I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm probably gonna start filming with my hair more like this because I'm not gonna have a lot of extra time with the puppy, and I really, like I said, I'm not trying to be a hair channel. My hair is very, very difficult, and so I just do the best I can. By the way, if you were wondering what I had on my lips, I have this Fenty Gloss Bomb Heat. Like I always say, if you wait long enough, you'll get a sample of all of these new products. So this one I got as a gift with purchase with an Ulta Beauty order. I bought something by Fenty, I think one of their lipsticks, and I think it's nice. The plumping is not too intense. I don't like the ones that hurt or burn or feel like ants crawling on your lips. I don't like that. It feels a little bit cooling and it tingles a little bit, but it's not too intense. So as you can see, I just applied a tiny, tiny bit of the foundation. I have the matching concealer as well, and I picked mine up in the shade Light 119. I do like the packaging. It looks like a little dropper bottle. It's so pretty. I'm just going to apply it to the areas where I need the most coverage, and I'm going to blend it out with a tiny beauty blender. I think the puppy has finally settled down. I've gotten to use the concealer a couple of times now, and I liked it up until when I set it. So today I'm gonna try to leave it unset. I'm probably somewhat setting it anyway. This is the brush I was using with powder last time, but whatever. So like I was saying, to buy puppies now, you have to go directly to a breeder, and I've never done that. So I don't know how to even find a reputable one. I just looked on the AKC website and then another website called Good Dog, which supposedly screens people for you, and you have to apply to a breeder and everything. And through that, those two methods, I found two puppies that I was interested in seeing. The first one is from like an amateur breeder. I don't want to call her amateur. She's like hobby breeder, I guess. This is her first litter, and it's with her own dogs. Like, she just had these two dogs, and they're both AKC registered, and they had a litter of puppies, 3 puppies. They were born February 28th, and my mirror that I used for a light is turning off. I don't know what's going on. It's never done that before. So if the lighting is changing, I feel like a complete amateur. I think I'm going to go ahead and finish up the eye look. So I want to tie in that blue, so I'm going to go into the shade Forever Inked, and I'm just going to smoke that along the lower lash line and just tie everything together. I worry about dipping my brush, that's in this area where I have concealer, although it's pretty much kind of self-set, but I worry about getting the cream in the eyeshadow because I've heard that these can hard pan really easily. Right, I also want to brighten up the inner corner, and I'm using again the shade Alter Ego at the top here. So this first breeder, we asked her if we could meet the puppy, and she actually lives like 2 hours away, and we went over there and she was so nice. She invited us into her home and we got to meet all the babies. We got to meet the parents. And it just felt very comfortable. She was really welcoming. And I mean, it's such a strange thing, right? You're going into somebody's house, you don't know them. I watch a lot of true crime, and so those things kind of stay with you. But my boyfriend went with me, so I wasn't alone. And she invited us both in, and we got to meet the puppies, and she didn't rush us at all. Like, we were able to take our time. And because we liked her so much, because this puppy was, when we met him, he was like 5 weeks old. And, you know, they don't have a lot of personality at that age. He was, you know, cute, starting to walk, and his parents were super cute. His mom was super protective, but just the whole experience made us very comfortable with her, and we wanted to get a puppy from her. This puppy, though, like over time, it's come up that he may have a hernia, which is not uncommon, but it's something that would have to be repaired if it doesn't close on its own. I'm going in with the Colourpop, it's the Soul Body Bronzer. This one is in my project pan, and I'm going to use that same e.l.f. brush that I used for the foundation. So yeah, so he has this hernia right now, and because of the situation I just came from, it just makes me very paranoid, you know, that the puppy may have health issues and things like that. I may have to rearrange my beauty room and get my ring light back up here because the mirror keeps turning off. He's never done that before. Like, I'm usually able to sit here and film for however long it takes. I don't know what's going on. It's making me nervous too. So yeah, anyway, I'm hesitant, you know, with the puppy because of his condition and the experience we just got out of. Like, we need a break. Definitely need a break. This bronzer is supposed to be a dupe for the Chanel bronzer, but I don't know. I actually have the Chanel bronzer. Have I used it? No. I switched to the light from a different mirror. The mirror I got around Black Friday, the high mirror. So I know the lighting is gonna be not good, but I'm determined to make this video work since I haven't been able to film in so long. So anyway, what I was saying is that, you know, because of the health struggles we've had with our pets, we were super hesitant to kind of get into that situation, but we're navigating it. We talked to our vet about it, and he seemed to think that it wasn't gonna be a big deal, that it's something that he can fix when the puppy gets neutered. So we were thinking about him, and so you're probably very confused. Like, didn't you just show us a puppy named Phoebe? Yes, I did, because like I said, I was gonna see another puppy, and that was a different breeder. So this one is a breeder that's been doing it for years and years and years, I think. I just kind of wanted to see both sides to make an informed decision, but I'm the kind of person that apparently I cannot see a pet and not bring it home. Plus this breeder, I don't know what it was about her, but I didn't gel with her right away. First of all, my first experience was, you know, with a hobby breeder, and she let us in her home and she let us take our time meeting the puppy and everything. And this other breeder, she brought the puppy outside. Now, mind you, she's a little bit older. This is Phoebe we're talking about now. She's a little bit older. And it's okay. It's not that cold right now in Chicago. So it's not like she was going to get sick or anything. And the lady was older too, so maybe she was paranoid of COVID, which I'm paranoid of COVID, but you know, we were all wearing masks and everything. But she brought the puppy outside, and we met the puppy in her driveway. I let her know that day that I would let her know the next day, you know, what we decided. And the next day she was texting me, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. And she already knew I kind of felt the puppy's name was Phoebe. I just had that feeling. And she texted me and she's like, oh, I take it since you didn't text, you're not interested. Or you're passing on Phoebe. Or I don't know, it was a little abrasive, I guess, for lack of a better word. And it just made me uncomfortable. I didn't contour, so I'm going to add contour now. This video is kind of all over the place. I'm using this Wet n Wild one to see if I like it as much as the KKW one. I don't. It's creamy, but it doesn't blend as nicely. I like the KKW one a lot more. That's the one that I showed in my last month's makeup basket. Now, because I didn't wear a lot of makeup for the month of March, I did wear some, but I was a mess, you guys. I was a mess where, you know, even taking a shower was starting to be a chore, and the house was super empty, and it was really sad. So I stopped wearing makeup, and so I'm gonna combine April and March, and so I'll do those as a beauty basket together. But the KKW Beauty one I showed, I think it was in February. Now that I kind of lowered the lights, I'm seeing the luminosity from the primer. It makes the foundation look like it's kind of sitting on my skin rather than kind of melting in. Maybe I'll try like a beauty blender. I'm gonna try dampening my beauty blender with this Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Mist. It was already damp, but I just want the products to sink in. In some places, they're making my pores stick out. Now I know right now it looks kind of like I got dipped in bacon grease, but it actually, it looks a lot better. I feel like the products are melting together a lot better. So anyway, long story short, I was feeling, you know, that breeder would have sold the puppy to just anybody, like the first comer with the money. And my rescue instinct kind of kicked in, and I loved her anyway. She was such a cute little doll, and I went and got her that same day. I was sitting at my computer trying to work, and all I could think about was the puppy, and this breeder was not as far away. This breeder kind of was about an hour away, I would say. And so it was a lot more doable than the boy dog. But now you're probably wondering, and you're absolutely correct, am I kind of on board for 2 puppies? And the answer is yes. Yes, we are. And the little boy dog just got checked out by the vet today, and it seems like everything is going to be okay. The lady wants to take him to another vet to kind of get a second opinion, which I appreciate. And I showed pictures and videos to my vet to see what he thought. And he seems to think that it's, you know, no problem. I'm going to use the Patrick Ta She's Blushing. This one was one of the new shades that he released, and the others were in the blush palette that he released around holiday time. But this one was the only new shade, so I went ahead and I picked it up, and here's what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the powder first. It's very pigmented, but then again, I have a lot of dew going on, and it's, you know, it's kind of tacky, so it's really grabbing the product. But even so, I feel that it's blending really well. I am on the struggle bus today. My mirror is not turning off too. Oh goodness. I turned on my other mirror now, hoping that, you know, it's kind of rested. So I'm going to apply the cream on top of the powder the way that he recommends. And I'm just going to use my beauty blender for that. I always like the technique that he recommended because I feel like it really blends the products together really, really well. I want to emphasize the blue, so I'm going in with the Too Faced Killer Liner. This one is in Killer Sapphire. I love these liners. They're really creamy and really pigmented, and they last on the waterline. This one, I know the packaging said to not apply it on the waterline. Some of them you can, but this one said not. I haven't had any trouble, so I'm just going to keep doing it, but of course, use your own judgment. I'm going to go ahead and apply some of the same mascara to the lower lash line. My lower lashes are really long too. I don't know if you all watch Babs Beauty, and her name is Stephanie, but her channel name is Babs Beauty. I know a lot of you do. And I can relate to her so much right now because I know she lost, I think it was 3 pets in a really short time frame. And she also just got a puppy. And in the last video, she was, you know, pretty tired from doing all the Sephora VIB sale videos and all that stuff. And obviously taking care of a puppy too. They're newborns on 4 legs. It's intense. It's a lot of work. And so I really, really relate to her right now. I always do, but especially right now. I got a little bit of mascara on my under eye, but I'm going to leave it for now. I want to try the Tears. So these are the color fluids in the shade Boy Tears, which I think is so cute. I'm just going to use it as a highlighter today. And once I get a feel for the formula, then I'll see if I'll apply it on my eyelids. So I think, yeah, I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. It's a really pretty champagne gold. Oh, it's a really pretty, oh my god, look at that. Oh, that's pretty. Just gonna apply it to the tops of my cheekbones. I have a lot going on my cheeks today. That's very pretty. I'm trying to see like how it might work on the eyelid. I think that it would be really good for that, you know, glass skin or the wet look on your eyelids. Let's see how it dries. I'm really curious. It looks like I got a little bit of mascara where I'm working. So it feels emollient, but it actually feels like it already set. And it definitely has that wet eye look. I know a lot of people really like that. It's a really easy and elegant look for day. I'm just going to take this little baby beauty blender and see if I can blend those in. Maybe I'll apply a little bit on my inner corner just to put a little bit of shimmer. I feel like I need just a little bit more. It actually dries. So the packaging, it reminds me of the Lisa Eldridge cream eyeshadows. This time I'm going to pick it up with the sponge. From just applying it, I think I'm going to like it more. I am really on the struggle bus, you guys. Now my computer died and I use it as a monitor, and so now I'm using just the teeny tiny little camera screen to see what I look like, which is fine. I know some people are able to use that and it's fine, but I end up out of focus. All right, so about these, I think I'm gonna prefer them on the eyes. They dry relatively quickly and you can use them on your face, but I prefer a cream highlighter. Like these really set. Like I feel like I'm even like a little splotchy. So I bought both of the Hindash lipsticks. I think that there may have been one more, but I bought two. I bought Call Me Peaches and Rest in Roses. Rest in Roses might be a bit much for this look, but you know what? Let's give it a try. I'm going to use this lip liner. It's from Evio Beauty. It came in a duo and it's another subscription box thing. So I'm going to use the one that is in the shade Brook. It's more like maroony. It's very creamy. And I like that they're sharpenable. This is almost like a Bordeaux color. So here's what the bullet looks like. The top reminds me so much of the Lisa Eldridge because her logo's on the top of her lipsticks, but these are a lot more lightweight. They're not magnetic. The lid actually feels like super, super lightweight. I do like that you have like the brushed metal. It's like different textures, so it's pretty, but yeah, it's not the luxe level of the Lisa Eldridge. And that is the shade. Let's go ahead and try it. So this is the Matte Balm formula. It applies really nicely. It's more pigmented than I thought, but I also applied it with a pretty pigmented lip liner. I'm just gonna clean up the edges here. So this is your finished look, and it was a struggle. Not so much with the makeup, mostly because I was watching the puppy. My mirrors were going out, my computer was dead. It is what it is. But let's take a look at the makeup look. I think overall it looks really nice and it's a little more intense than I was initially going for. But again, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette first. So with the eyeshadow palette, I think that the mattes blend beautifully. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're very firmly pressed, so they're a formula that you're going to be able to build. I like the gradient pattern, so you can kind of get more than one color out of every pan. I haven't yet tried it on the face again because I'm worried about that hard pan and I don't set my foundation typically. So maybe when I turn on my face, I'll set my foundation or try out a powder foundation, which I've been meaning to do. But I like the palette. I have to say that the first one is probably going to be easier to use, even though I haven't, just because it's all neutral. With this one, you have some colors that are not necessarily, basically I'm just missing a deepening shade. I could have paired it with another palette, but I kind of wanted to stick with this one just to see how it would work. And I really felt that I was missing a deepening shade, which is why even though I was happy with how that was looking with the two shades up top, I had to deepen it out with this one, which is the one that introduced the blue to the look. And even though I think it looks fine, it looks a little bit more purple. I would have preferred to deepen it out with a color in the same family, maybe a deep brown, which I could have gotten from the other palette, or a black. So just something to think about. The colors are really, really pretty and the performance is really nice. And so far, it doesn't appear to be creasing or breaking down. And I've been filming for quite a while since I've been kind of running around. So far so good with that one. I did want to mention the foundation as well. I think that today is my favorite day that I've worn the foundation. This is now maybe my third or fourth time wearing the foundation. And each time I have felt that it's not as dewy as people mentioned. So once I kind of got that out of my head and I was expecting something a little bit more natural, I actually really like it. And even though this one is a little bit lighter for my skin, this is medium 27. It's a little light as you saw in the video. With bronzer and everything, I think that it ends up looking like a pretty good shade match. And today, like I said, is the best that I've seen it look. I think that dampening my beauty blender and kind of pressing all the products in really helped with that. So as I wear the foundation in the future, I will probably do that. I did want to mention the primer. So with this primer, it's okay. Like, it does give a luminosity, but it feels more like it's sitting on top. It's kind of a Tin Man effect. I don't like the smell. It smells like Bengay, and yeah, I have it because I got it in a box, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think that you can do a lot better. And something called Glass Primer, I expected more. With the concealer, same as the foundation, I like it better today than other days just because I didn't set it. I think that this is one that's more like self-setting, and I find that if I apply powder on top of it, it has a tendency to look heavier. And even though I do have creases, because I naturally have creases and my eyes really fold there, I like it better when it's not set. It is pretty full coverage. I picked mine up in the shade Light 119. It's okay. I'm not wowed, but it's okay. The Soul Body bronzer, I've used it once before, and I found that this one in the shade medium is just a little bit more orange than I personally would like, but I applied it very lightly and with a brush, and I think that the overall effect was pretty nice. I think that it made my foundation match my skin tone a little bit better, and it does blend very easily. Also smells really, really nice. It has like a coconut, like an artificial coconut smell, but it smells really nice. This one is supposed to be for face and body. I'm not gonna bronze my body, I just apply it on my face, and I think it was nice. It was a good one. The mascara I really liked. I think Bettina like really picked out a good one with this one. She's the makeup enthusiast here on YouTube. If you'd like to check her out, I will leave a link to her channel in the description box. But the Eye of Horus, this is the Goddess mascara. They have a variety of mascaras, but this one is really nice. It's a tubing mascara. Again, lengthening and separation, not so much for volume. So depending on what your needs are, you may or may not like this one. I think this brand does ship to the US. Even though I'm not wearing it right now, I was wearing it throughout the video, the Fenty Heat Gloss Bomb. I'm glad I tried it out in a sample. This is a very, very generous sample. You do get 2 milliliters, and it is in the shade Hot Cherry 01. It's the first one they came out with. Again, not super tingly. It's kind of like a cinnamon plumping feel, although it doesn't smell like cinnamon. It smells very much like the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb, which to me is like super, super concentrated Kool-Aid is how it smells to me. Not bad, but again, a little artificially, which, you know. The Patrick Ta blush was beautiful. I've worked with this formula before, so that's no surprising, but this particular shade, the shade She's Blushing, it's a little more pink than I thought by looking in the pan, right? It looked more nude, like a deeper Tarte Exposed kind of thing. On me, it's pulling very, very pink, very reddish. It's pretty, it's just not what I was expecting based on what you're seeing in the pan. So if you're a similar skin tone to me, then just keep that in mind when you are picking out your shades. They do have another one that is a lot more nude in tone, which if that's the look that you were going for, then probably I would recommend that one rather than this one. But the formula is amazing again. Powder first, cream over top. It looks great. I didn't use the Hindash lipstick in the shade Call Me Peaches. This one is an ultra matte, so it's gonna be a different formula than the one that I'm wearing right now. And this one is called a matte balm. I guess it's a matte balm in the way that the NARS tinted matte lip balms are matte. I don't think that they're matte. It's more of a satin finished, and I actually put on quite a large amount. To me, it looks like a satin finish lipstick. Very comfortable, very pigmented again. The packaging is a lot more lightweight than you would expect, especially the cap. The tube itself is a little more substantial, but the cap is super, super lightweight. Just kind of keep that in mind. if you're expecting like super luxe like Lisa Eldridge, it's not quite at that level. Let's see what else. Oh, the tears, the boy tears. So this was a really interesting product. It is the one that I'm wearing as my highlight today, but I went in and I kind of applied it and then went to blend it. It dries a lot faster than you might think. I'm really excited to try this out on my eyelids because I think it's gonna give that really pretty, wet, kind of shimmery look to the eyes. And yeah, I'm really excited to try it out that way. As a facial highlighter, I thought it was okay. I think I would have liked it more if I had applied and blended and then applied and blended, kind of work in sections rather than apply it all over and then try to blend afterwards, because it dries faster than you might think. And in actuality, that kind of makes sense if you are intended to use this on the eyes as well as on the face. Makes sense that it would dry a little bit faster. So I'm gonna keep trying it out, but for my face, I don't think it's gonna be a favorite. I prefer something that's a lot more dewy and gives me a little bit more work time. So that's my quick summary of all the products that I tried today. I hope you did enjoy this video and find it helpful. I deeply apologize for the hot mess that this filming session has been, but I don't have a lot of time to film, and so I didn't want to really scrap the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway, and if so, please let me know by giving it a big thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. You're also going to want to ring the notification bell because I don't have a set upload schedule. I've been absent for a few days, about 2 weeks right now, and so it really helps if you hit the notification bell so that you are notified every single time I upload. I do share those updates on Twitter, and I'm active on Instagram and TikTok. If you enjoy those platforms, I would love to see you over there. Thank you again for joining me for today's video. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.